Fuck yeah. Perfect. Got it?
That's dope.
The
Yeah.
greatest.
I have a really funny Leo DiCaprio story.
What's the story?
Okay. So there's this model
Yeah.
that I know who for a very long time and she had dated some people close to me when I
Okay.
was really young. So I've known her since I was like 12 and she's like 10 years older.
Sure.
Anyway, she's like had this crush on Leo forever. So one night she
Okay.
calls me. This is like, I don't know. This has got to be like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But she calls me and she's like, listen, I got invited to leave. But she's, Romanian. I can't do a Romanian accent. But, Danny, like, listen, tonight is the night. Leo and I are both Scorpios. And, you have to come. We're going to, what was that fucking club over on Sunset that,
Hide?
no, that was the One Oak. One Oak.
Oh, yeah, One Oak.
Okay, so she's like, you have to come to the table, One Oak, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, girl, like, she's like, I think this is the night that we fall in love. And I'm like, like she's like 30 at the time,
Okay.
like, which I think we all know is a little, outside the age range that.
Oh, yeah. That's the reputation. Yeah.
Only from what I hear, nothing
By
I've
five,
ever
by
seen.
five, yeah.
And so we get to the table and she's like going in hard. Like
Okay.
she's like professing love. She's like, oh, Leo, this is the night. We are Scorpio. There is a full moon. And he knows her and he's being like very sweet, actually.
Okay.
And he's like, engaging her and whatever. But he's got like two 18-year-olds on like, I don't know, either side of him.
Right.
And like, he's just doing his thing, And or I don't know if they're 18, but that's how at least that's what they looked like.
Sure.
And probably 21 because it was in a club.
Okay.
For legal purposes.
Yeah, that's obviously. And so eventually he starts to do like the celebrity stare through. You know what I'm talking about.
Of course.
Yes, like where they're like they've been as polite as they possibly
Yes.
can be. And
So they just look through.
right.
Uh-huh.
They're just there. I love the stare through. I use the stare through with men
Yes.
all the time. That's like
Mhm.
one of my favorite moves, actually, where they like come up to me and they're like, Danny. And I go,
Oh, my gosh. Cringe.
It's my favorite. But I have like everything's a bit to me. So
I spent an entire evening with David Blaine, and because he
I've heard some
was
stories
friends
about
with
him.
this girl that I was dating, and for one whole evening, I got the stare through. It was like never really looked at me or
Well, yeah,
like
you're a man
anything.
and you're
Dude,
plus one man.
It's
of
the
course.
creepiest
Yeah, you don't get
encounter I've ever had
acknowledged.
with a person.
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that seems like the obvious choice. But,
I guess so.
But okay, so at the end of the night,
Yeah.
it's very obvious that like we're not invited to Leo's, but Leo's having an after party.
Okay.
And so my friend
And you're not invited out.
we're definitely not invited. Like we are not invited. And I'd also brought like one of my girlfriends from Jersey at the time to like, and we're not invited. They like, and so my friend is like trying to garner us an invite. And so she's like going to the other models
God.
and she's like, we go to Leo, blah, 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 this and that. And then finally she finds like one of his,
People.
yes, let's call them his people.
One of the entourage. Yeah.
One of the entourage. And she goes, oh, my friend doesn't drink. She can drive us. So I'm like, sure. So we get up and like halfway through the car ride, he kind of like seems to get like he was like, yeah, sure. But he was like pretty drunk. And like
Yeah.
halfway through the car ride, he's like, girl, like,
Did you get invited?
yeah, are you invited? And she's like, yes, it's fine. And so we get to the house and she's like, no. And he goes, I gotta go check. And she's like, no, I have to pee. And me and my friend are looking at each other. We're like, we're gonna wait here. Like, if you don't come out in like 15, like we're gonna roll.
Yeah.
But like, like come out and let us know like whether you want to stay or whether you want to go.
Sure.
But we're thinking we're gonna go, but I don't want to leave you like stranded in the hills.
Sure.
And so she comes out and she's like, oh no, it's fine. Everything is fine. Come.
Okay.
So we're like, okay.
She sounds really good at this. She She
She's
does sound like
very beautiful. I
okay.
mean, this woman is genetically blessed in a way that is like one of those types of like beautiful where like
Okay.
you barely understand that you guys are of the same
Okay.
species. Like
Okay.
it's like this woman is just so
Sure.
unbelievably physically attractive.
Sure.
Um and so and so we walk in and we get to the backyard and it's like a fucking record scratch. And Leo looks up and he's like, and
No.
fucking and so he calls over his friend, like kind of like get rid of her. And so she starts pretending not to speak English.
Oh wow.
She goes, no, I not understand. And she's like starting to run through Leo's house. And we're like in the backyard. And so me and my friend, and it's a really like interesting vibe because it's like a bunch of really like beautiful women.
Yeah.
But no one's really like talking to each other.
Right.
And like, he's kind of playing chess. I mean, it's very mellow. A couple guys are there. Like, it's not,
Did you say he's playing chess?
yeah, I think with like a very tall woman, beautiful.
Okay.
Everyone's beautiful. Okay. We've established that. So this girl starts like running through the house, and then the guy is like chasing her, like, you
Chasing her.
gotta get out of here, bitch.
Oh
And
God.
she's like, and I can see Leo kind of like cringing because it's like not his way of
Yeah, of course.
he's a nice guy, right? To speak to how the story got started. And so anyway, so my friend who has never been to a Hollywood party is like, I don't think they want us here. And I was like, oh honey, like nobody's invited to anywhere in LA.
gosh,
Like, don't
yeah.
worry about it. Like everybody feels like they're not invited in the room. And so these two guys get into the hot tub. I'll leave their names out of it. So I finally just walk over and I'm like, wow, sausage fest in the hot tub at Leo DiCaprio's house. Like, what are you guys doing in there? A little sword fight? Or like, I wasn't
Oh, my word.
expecting that. And they're like, wow, a girl with a personality. We weren't expecting that either. Like take off your clothes, get in here. And I was like, wait, so I get all the girls
To get in the hot tub.
to take off their clothes or get down to their bra and underwear and get in the hot tub.
So you're the hero.
I get everybody to get in the hot tub. I create a game of truth or dare.
You're
And
the huge hero.
and then because obviously I know Leo's not going to play the game of truth or dare, I'm like, you can be the moderator. Why don't you, like, if you don't like the truth or you don't like the dare,
Yeah.
since you're the king of the castle, like, you can up the ante, right?
Okay.
And he's like down,
a
you
great
know,
game.
you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm like creating the whole game. And actually, it turned out one of the guys had followed me on social media previous, and like, whatever. And so I got this whole game going. I got everybody loose, I'm like getting it done. And the girl comes back around and she's like, she's still running. She almost falls in the pool and she goes, oh, Leo, your friend is so terrible. Oh my God. And I like call her over and I'm like, Speedy,
You're killing it.
you're a supermodel. Please just take off your fucking clothes. Like, get your bra and get in the fucking hot tub. Like, I'm trying to help you here.
Yeah, of course.
Shh. And, hush on the talkie. More the swimmy. It's 3 a.m., Fuck. And so, anyway, the guy catches up and he's like, you gotta go, bitch. And I'm like, all right, we'll leave. And they're like, no, Daddy, don't go.
Amazing.
But I took her.
You
out of it.
became the most valuable person at the party. And even though she was absolutely stunning, your friend was so over the top, incredibly persistent that it got her kicked out. And then you had to take her home. That is a
It's true.
typical Hollywood night.
I know.
Yes.
I feel.